Hey KU fans, welcome back to another episode of KU Sports Extra. I'm Matt Tait, joined by Tom Keegan. One day after Selection Sunday, everybody's favorite national holiday. If you haven't checked it out yet,
it's not on a Monday.
Right, that's true. Here's our special section. The front and most of it designed by Silas May. Great job. He did a fantastic job, working hard. The whole desk crew, everybody that wrote for it. It's 16 or 18 pages of content. There's a big bracket in the middle. So check that out if you haven't seen it. All the content's also online at KUsports.com. And it was a lot of fun to do that because it's a lot of fun to talk basketball this time of year.
Yeah. You know what I do? I do a week ahead of time the 13 teams I thought could win it all, and just for a couple reasons, to get them the stuff ahead of time so they don't all have to do it at once. But also, I think the biggest mistake people make is whatever happened in the last game. So in this case, I think a lot of times is a big mistake what happens in a conference tournament. People forget about the regular season once the conference tournament. It's not going to happen. Now, if I had a mulligan based on the conference tournament, I probably would have included Duke, but I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
However, I did include Michigan a week ago before their wild run to the Big Ten Conference Championship, and I still believe in Michigan.
That's the one I was going to say as what a joke, so my bad. No, but that's exactly the type of team you're talking about, somebody that gets hot like that. I mean, Michigan was seeded very low in that Big Ten tournament.
Maybe they got too hot too soon.
Yeah, you never know. They won 4 games in 4 or 5 days. I mean,
and Duke won 4 games too, had to win 4 to. But Kansas had time off, and Bill Self got after him about ball screen defense in practice. That's obviously what's been bothering him, and they had a chance for him to get after him, and now they're ready to go. To me, it's an even greater excitement level. First of all, this team wins so many close games.
Yeah.
So they've been a more thrilling team for their fan base than any in a long time, simply because of those close wins.
Sure.
But also they're a very fast and exciting team. But then what really makes it gives it another level of excitement is that it's at the Sprint Center. If they get to the Midwest Regional, if they get out of Tulsa, and the possibility that they could face Iowa State there. There's those 2 schools. Their home away from home is the Sprint Center.
Big time.
That would be so crazy.
Yeah, I felt like we got robbed a little bit by not seeing that in the semifinals of the Big 12 tournament.
But this would be even better than in the Big 12 tournament by quite a bit if it's a Sweet 16 game.
By a lot. So that's part of the bracket, obviously, and a lot has to happen between now and then for that even to match up. But I got the sense KU got put in a very fair bracket. I mean, every year, and Bill Self even said this, I couldn't help but laugh when he said it. Somebody asked, what's your take on the Midwest Regional? And he said, well, like every year, are you freaking kidding me? It did not look that hard out of the gate at this time. And I mean, you look at just the 2 seeds they avoided, Duke, Kentucky, Arizona. All 3 won their conference tournaments. All 3 are hot right now. And KU gets Louisville. Louisville's a very good team, but those 3, I would rather avoid those at all costs. UCLA is another team they didn't have to deal with.
Right, a 3 seed.
Yeah, it goes on and on like that. That's how I generally look at who got a fair draw, who didn't. And I think KU not only got a fair draw, I think they got a favorable draw.
I think it's tough, though. It's going to be tough to get out of there. Louisville's tough against anyone. Rick Pitino obviously has been to 7 Final Fours. You've got Purdue, which is a really, really big team. Not as fast as Kansas, but has underrated guards and shoots the 3. Same percentage, basically, 1/100th of a percentage point higher than Kansas, 406 to 405. Purdue's a really good team and a tough matchup for Kansas if Purdue happens to be in the Sweet 16 game instead of Iowa State or any number of others.
Yeah, that's what I pointed out in one of my breakdown of the Midwest region. I thought, wouldn't it be funny, all this talk about Iowa State, all this talk about Purdue, and the fear of those 2 teams, wouldn't it be funny if Vermont is the team? The Catamounts are sitting there waiting for Kansas. And
what is a catamount anyway?
Oh, man.
Is it a big farm machinery?
I think it might be a big dog. No, I don't know. I think it has something to do with cavalry.
You've gone the wide range here. You have no idea. Just say you don't know. It's okay. You don't have to know everything.
I don't know, but I will look it up right after. But the thing about it is, you know, I think that matchup, the potential 1-2 with Louisville, Louisville's strength, defense, and its guards, and Pitino. Well, KU's guards, I think, are better. KU's got Self. So not a lot to fear there. Doesn't mean they would win it. And maybe it would be 5-5 out of 10 games. But there's no reason for Kansas to think anything other than that they should beat everybody. Purdue, I think one thing about Purdue that is scary, other than the big size that you already talked about, that size shoots three-pointers.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Evans
not just
and,
the guards. Those big
Evans
guys.
and Swanigan are 43%
That's
shooters.
crazy to
Yeah.
me. So,
Swanigan weighed like 350 pounds when he was an eighth grader.
yeah, I saw you wrote that.
And now he's down to 250, and he's a great story. He's a great player.
He plays like he's 360 pounds, though, still. He's just ferocious and physical. And
Great
big.
rebounder.
Yeah, he is. You've got to look at that situation. How does KU match up against that team, especially bigs pulling the bigs away? Well,
Right.
not bad. I mean, if
Jackson
you think about
can-
it, yeah,
yeah.
Jackson can do it. Vic could do it potentially, and Lucas better at that than maybe he gets credit for.
Yeah, but Vic can't guard one of those big guys.
No, but on the perimeter,
Well,
knows?
yeah.
who knows? I mean, the thing that I think is really cool, I think if you look at this TCU game that happened, that KU lost, I think you see Bill Self get a technical. You see Bill Self stay in man-to-man defense, even though TCU was torching it. I think if that was a tournament game, he would have thrown a triangle and two out there, or done one of those Bill Self type of things to make sure that didn't happen. I'm not so sure that he wasn't okay with that outcome, just because, hey, they get some rest, they get that taste of a loss again. They're a little bit familiar with it now, and not one of them liked it. So, it also puts the onus on Josh Jackson to respond. Hey, we lost because of you. What are you going to do about it? Any other thoughts on the Midwest real quick, and then we'll take a tour around the rest of the bracket?
I just hope that Kansas gets to the Kansas City, because that will be a blast. That regional will be so much fun.
Yeah.
So many good individuals and so many good teams.
Sure, Miami, Michigan State standing in the way of that if KU gets by the 16 seed that's yet to be determined.
Combined 8 Final Fours there, 7 with Tom Izzo and 1 with Jim Larinaga.
If I'm a KU fan, though, I'm rooting for Michigan State in that one. Miami's a better team. They've played better competition throughout the year. They beat Carolina. They beat Duke. I think KU should root for Sparty in that one.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, any other thoughts on the bracket? Maybe, Marquette got in. Maybe you want to share your Marquette thoughts with everyone?
If Marquette beats Frank Martin, so that's offense versus defense. Marquette doesn't play much defense, and Frank Martin's team doesn't score very well. Then it's Krzyzewski against his former understudy, Steve Wojciechowski. You gotta like the coaching advantage to Wojciechowski there.
Yeah, also known as Keegan versus Nightingale.
Yes.
A little in-house battle. Bobby and the Duke Blue Devils against Tom and the Marquette Golden Eagles. Special
Warriors.
stuff. Sorry. They used to be called the Eagles.
Yeah. I think they should be the Warriors again, with St. Joan of Arc, who was a Warrior, being their mascot.
I think you've said that in this spot before, and I bet you say it sometime in the future too. I like it though.
Jayhawks, I don't think there's any reason to ever change that nickname, do you?
No, it's pretty good.
I think it's the coolest bird in sports.
I like it.
It's fake, but it's
Cooler
the
than
coolest.
Sue Bird, former UConn point guard.
Sue Bird was awesome.
There you go. It's
She
close,
made
then.
watching that sport really enjoyable.
Agreed. Probably haven't filled out your bracket yet, so we won't go
No, I
Final
haven't.
Four picks or anything like that. But overall, just your thoughts. I mean, do you think it's a pretty good bracket? The committee did a good job. It seemed that way to me.
I think so. I didn't look at any one bracket and say, "Oh, that's awful."
Right.
I think Carolina actually, that bracket is top heavy with some really good
Carolina,
1, 2, and 3.
Kentucky, UCLA.
Carolina, Kentucky, UCLA.
That's tough.
How about that?
Yeah, that's tough. The craziest thing about that is, in another bracket, you could have seen many people, thousands of people, putting all 3 of those in the Final Four. But now only one of them has the chance to go. I mean, or will go. I mean, that part's pretty incredible. So
I mean, Malik Monk and Lonzo Ball, there's 2 of the top 5 freshmen right there. And
yeah.
they're a blast to watch, both of those players.
Yeah.
That's a really fun read.
Really good teams there, and all over. I think it's going to be great. Villanova, Duke, that looks exciting. Gonzaga, Arizona looks exciting. I like Gonzaga's chances to get out of there. They're a good team.
They beat Arizona in the preseason.
That's right.
Of course, Arizona has added a player since.
Right. West Virginia's in that region and could definitely have something to say about who gets out of that one. Oklahoma State, Iowa State, and Kansas all in the Midwest, so that hurts their chances. And of course, K-State against Danny Manning in the play-in game.
That's a great one.
Love it.
And think about the level of passion KU fans will have for Danny Manning going against K-State.
Sure.
I mean, if there are many Jayhawk fans in Ohio, I expect them to get their hands on tickets in Dayton and root passionately for Danny Manning, who at Tulsa, he got that team into the tournament ahead of schedule, and at Wake Forest, he has gotten that team into the tournament ahead of schedule. Danny Manning can coach, he can develop, and he has the evaluation skills to recruit well as well.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see them make a run and get hot. I thought it was funny, though, that the Big 12 against Danny Manning. So Bill Self gets a call from Danny Manning, and this is hypothetical. But he says, hey, give me everything you got on K-State. And then Bill Self gets a call from the Big 12 that says, hey, don't help Wake Forest too much. We want our conference to do well in this thing. Again, hypothetical, but
and nobody's
tough
going to
spot
make
to
that call to Bill Self.
It'd be interesting to find out somewhere down the road.
Imagine who at the Big 12 would do that? Bob Bowlesby?
No way.
No.
Way.
And you know, when he tells Rob Carolla to do it? No, Rob's
No way.
You can't tell someone to do that.
No, it'd be interesting to find out just how much Wake Forest got help on that scouting report, because that's a huge advantage. That's a huge head
I don't
start.
know. You think it's a huge advantage?
I do.
I mean, I think every coach.
They're going to scout it themselves, of course.
Well, plus every coach is so connected that they'll have,
People everywhere. That's
Yeah,
true.
like Weber will have someone who in the ACC.
Yeah, that's
probably,
true.
don't you think?
Yeah.
But Kansas obviously scouts well because they can
and-
assistant coaches
Well, right.
who are really good. They can pay them
Yeah.
better than most.
And that's it. I think it's the familiarity. Danny Manning, Brett Ballard, the understanding of how Bill Self and his staff scout. So they get this report
That's
and they
true.
know how to read it. And I think that's where the advantage comes more than just getting an actual report on a team, especially when you consider they only get 2 days. I mean, they found out Sunday, they play Tuesday. You got to turn that around quickly. Well, that'll be a good appetizer for the rest of the tournament. They're in the first 4 game with 6 other teams, I guess. And then the bracket will be set for a final 64. KU will play a yet-to-be-determined winner, North Carolina Central or UC Davis, the winner of that game.
I like North Carolina Central, man. How about you?
I like them in a runaway.
I think it's going to be a close game.
I
I
think
like
they're gonna
North
roll.
Carolina Central.
5 senior starters, 7 of their 8-man rotation is seniors, and the 8th is a junior. Runaway.
UC Davis got more talent out there in California to choose from, but I do like North Carolina Central in this game, and I hope to be watching.
I can't wait to find out what Bobby thinks and see if he's on the other side already. That sets up that Duke-Marquette battle that's coming. It's coming. KU will play 5:50 p.m. on Friday night against the winner of that hotly contested UC Davis North Carolina Central game. We'll be in Tulsa. Our whole crew will be down there, and we'll have as much coverage as you can possibly handle, and then maybe a little bit more. So we'll see you on more videos, and be sure to check out our special section if you haven't yet.
Just one final word from me. Catamounts.
Look it up. Thanks for checking out this episode of KU Sports Extra. We'll talk to you guys real soon from Tulsa, Oklahoma.